It's Dirty Joe Sierra, who's got another fight this time on August the 12th for Marshall Combat League when he takes on Jimi Miller. Joe, how are you?
I'm doing well.
Good, man. Good. I appreciate the time. I first want to start with the nickname Dirty Joe. I mean, I had to laugh when I first heard it, and you got the T-shirt on right now. Tell me how that came about. How this nickname actually got bestowed on you.
Well, actually, my mom and my brother are the ones who gave it to me. Um, I just was dirty, I guess. I mean, I wouldn't say like dirty, dirty, but I used to just go out and just, everything a boy would do, get dirty, come around, be home, and she'd be like, "Go take a shower," and I'd be like, "Okay." I'll just hop in the water and come back out, and she'll be like, "You're dirty, get back in there." So it's something that like family gave it to me, and I stuck with it for my whole life, I guess.
I guess the most important thing is you're not dirty inside the cage, right? You're not looking for nut shots or
No,
thumbing someone in the eye.
I mean I might beat him down dirty, but I'm
Yeah.
not gonna poke him in the eye dirty. No.
Okay. I figured that was the case. I just wanted to have a
Yeah.
little fun with you right out of the gate. I love the nickname, man. I think it kind of differentiates you from a lot of the other fighters that you have out there. Tell me how you got your start in combat sports.
Well, really, my start in combat sports was more of just watching my family. My great grandpa, he used to train in boxing, and I had been told by my grandma that he used to train the Olympics in Mexico. So I mean, it kind of been in the bloodline. And then as I was, in my teenage years, he was teaching me actually how to box. I actually have a picture of us right here. When I was a little kid, he was teaching me how to hold my hands up, what to do, and stuff like that. So I mean, it's been something in my family for years, and they haven't really ever got like MMA style. It's more of just stand up. So I kind of just wanted to bring that into it.
Mhm. Okay. And so growing up outside of like your grandpa and just people like, in your bloodline, were there any fighters that you kind of looked up to or kind of looked at as role models?
Um, yeah, most of a lot of the boxers at first, like Oscar De La Hoya, Felix Trinidad, stuff like that. And then, as I got older and then UFC started coming out, there was Tito Ortiz, Chuck Liddell, just people as I was watching Forrest Griffin. He was one of my favorites because I mean I feel like I'm that type of person that just gets in there and goes,
Mhm.
and that's the type of person I seen as Forrest Griffin was. He was just in there, and he could take beatings for, and I don't want to take too bad of beatings, but I see myself like that, and then as the styles start changing, you got Izzy coming out with some crazy stuff. So I mean, it's of course John Jones and all the big time names now are one of my favorites. But the old schools I got, I still rock with Tito. Even though he was that crazy. And that's the type of stuff that I like to do. I like to put on the show, and I like to also put the pressure on.
So would it be safe to say your style is kind of like sprawl and brawl? You want to keep it on the feet and throw hands?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely someone to stand up and bang, but a lot of my opponents, they go and watch videos and stuff like that, and they want to try to wrestle me after. So I've been practicing a lot. I do jujitsu. I'm pretty well in jujitsu, but my wrestling is kind of iffy. So that's kind of like the main thing that my opponents try to get me at. But I mean, I'm doing pretty well with it. My defense on the ground is pretty well.
So right now you're still an amateur. You're 1-0-1. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, so as far as the future goes and like what you want to accomplish, like where do you see yourself a year, five from now? Like, do you envision turning pro, soon, or is that kind of a far way out?
Well, okay, so I'm 31 right now, and I mean the age, is kind of different, but it's weird. Like I feel like in my 30s, like I'm a lot stronger. I'm more like focused and determined. So I mean my goals are kind of shifting. Like when I was younger, I definitely wanted to go, UFC, Bellator, one anything that would bring the fame. Now I'm just taking these fights as they come. This one right here will be for a number one contender, and I do want to fight and hopefully win the belt, and then from there, it all depends on what the opportunity arises. But my main goal is to just be a coach one day, just so I can. I'm doing pretty much all this right here to show my students one day, like, hey, look, I pushed myself, I did all this, I can get you there, I can show you how to do it. It's my goals are still there. I still want to keep fighting, I still want to keep going, but I also got to think about further long future. Because when you get older, some things start to hurt a little more, and
Mhm.
so that's just something like it's a backup on the backup.
Okay, so you're looking at it like realistically down the line as more of a coach versus like cracking into the UFC.
Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. If the opportunity comes, then yeah, but more, I'm leaning on the coach side. Yeah.
Okay, that's cool, man. I love the fact you're seeing a lot more people as the sport grows, understanding. Hey, yeah, there's a lot of fighters out there, and that is an amazing goal and dream to accomplish. But coaching is equally as important. Fighters need coaches, and coaches need fighters. So that's very cool. What is your day job right now? How do you balance that with training and everything that you have to do?
Well, it's kind of cool. So, well, I work in the oil field, man, and it's a hectic schedule there. I mean, I sometimes I'm at work at 4 o'clock in the morning till 6, 7 at night. Sometimes I'll go for 2, 3 hours, and then it starts raining. It's definitely something that is not good for a fight camp. So, my boss, he's one of my sponsors as well, and he works with me on this. So he's like, hey, you need this time off to get yourself together, so take this month off. I've been saving back what I can, to be able to take care of my bills and stuff like that. Plus my sponsor's been looking out, and but other than that, he gave me this whole time that I needed to be able to focus on my fighting and my meal plans, everything that I need, and it's been really helpful for that, and I feel really well.
That's fantastic, man. What is your boss's name?
His name's Ryan Cooper.
Ryan Cooper. Shout out to Ryan Cooper. That is one heck of a boss, man. He's got your back. There's no doubt about it. Tell me a little bit about camp. Who do you have around you? Who are like your main training partners day to day?
Okay, so well, in the beginning of my camp, I was kind of jumping around. I mean, it's always been the same team. Dylan Smith at Shaw Matt, and that's my number one right there. He's been through it with me this whole time. He's the one who gave me my first belt ever to wear as jiu-jitsu. He's the one who brought me up as an athlete to now wanting to transition over to a coach one day. And just the whole team there at Shaw Matt, I got see, because Dylan, he's also the promoter of Martial Combat League.
Okay.
So he can't really be in my corner, So I have teammates in my corner, and I'm gonna have one of my teammates, Chris Campbell. He's gonna actually step in as my coach, and man, he's real big too. So he's been putting a lot of weight on me, a lot of pressure. He's been showing me some cool stuff. Definitely working on the wrestling a lot too.
Speaking of big, I know you know Gabe Rednose fairly well, right? So do
Yes,
you ever do anything with him? I know you guys are in very different weight classes. He's a pretty big man.
man, that's my brother, man. Actually, I had a shirt hung. I got a shirt hung up right here. You know, I rock this dude, man. Man. When I first met this guy, it was crazy because one of my best friends called Gabe out. Like, I never met Gabe before. He just called him out. Seen Gabe was a fighter, and my best friend, he's a street fighter. He ain't ever been in no cage, so it's different whenever you go from the street to the cages. And so he's all talking smack to Gabe online, and I was like, man, I wouldn't recommend that, man. This guy trains. I would at least try to train before he do that. Well, long story short, Gabe ended up, putting him in, and yeah, I mean, my friend knew every, it happens, but yeah, he got beat pretty bad, and I just respected the hell out of Gabe. I was just like, damn, man, because my buddy was still being disrespectful afterwards, and I was just like, man, this guy carries himself like a champion. I like to get to know this guy. So, I reached out to him, and then we became, really close training partners. I got pictures right here. I'll be able to show you. But yeah, we train, we talk every day. We FaceTime. We chat about how my weight cut is. You know, he definitely is still in my corner, even though he's got his own thing going on.
Right.
Cause he's got a title he's actually fighting for out in California, and that's pretty exciting too. I'm looking forward to that a lot.
You think we'll see him in the UFC one day?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, he's already, he's young and he's hungry and he's just pushing and pushing, and just seeing that, and plus he's got Joe Stevenson, Joe Daddy Stevenson as his coach, and he's out here training with Rafael Lovato Jr. So, I mean, he's really, he's got a strong support team as well. So, I really see, if not the UFC, Bellator,
Yeah.
something along those lines of big names.
Yeah, for sure. I wouldn't doubt that at all, my man. Tell me a little bit about the weight cut. This fight's going to be at featherweight. What do you typically walk around at, and what's the weight cut for you to get down to 145?
Okay, so I walk around at 165, and man, honestly, this weight cut has been so amazing. Like, the team that I got this time it's definitely like a local support right here. Like, my last one was kind of just going off of whatever I could, reaching out to whoever could give me some advice about how to cut weight. And I end up taking a wrestler's advice, and that kind of was bad idea because I had to end up cutting 10 pounds in fight week, and it was really tiring. This time I want to say that this morning I got on the scale, I was 151, and I feel great. I feel like I'm in shape pretty well. I'm solid. I've been pushing myself hard. I go to the gym every morning. I run. I try to get that road work in. I do light sparring, some shadow boxing. I try to get my whole workout in all in one session, as in like something that I would do for fighting.
Mhm.
Not heavy lifting, more of just like light pushing, light punching, moving, stuff like that, just to get my mind focused.
Yeah, that's fantastic, man. Well, you got an opponent here again, August 12th, Martial Combat League, Jimi Miller. What do you know about him? What kind of a fighter is he?
Well, actually, this is crazy. So this fight's been like almost a year in the making. Things been delayed, stuff's happened. It's just been a lot that's been held up for this fight. And man, I know Jimmy personally. We've actually trained before one time, and he's a good opponent. He's definitely someone that I'm not gonna underestimate this guy. I'm not gonna sit here and think, oh, I'm just gonna run through this guy. I'm gonna definitely put everything that I have into training to beat this guy. But what I know about him, he's just a solid guy. I have nothing bad to say about him. He's respectable. He doesn't talk shit, nothing like that. I mean, I'm not worried about people talking. That happens. That's part of the fight game. But he's not doing none of that. So I mean, I feel really, at ease fighting this guy. I don't feel stressed out having to walk up and stand up to a person that I don't even know and have problems with already. So I like this. I feel comfortable. I feel like this is going to be a good fight for me.
When you did train with him, how did that go?
It went well. I mean, he definitely uses wrestling on me, so I know what he's going to try to do. I mean, I know he's going to want to try to grapple, and I'm fine with that. It's it's whatever I got a game plan. I'm going in. I'm just gonna go and finish. If that's a knockout or making him tap out, but that's the goal. That's just to finish it.
What round do you get it done in? Do you think it gets out of the first round, or are you finishing him early?
Uh, Man, I want to say second round. I want to say the second round. I kind of fill him up a little bit on the first, see what he's talking about, and then just put the pressure on him second round. But I am a pressure fighter, so it could be the first round.
What is it like fighting for Martial Combat League? What is the venue like? The fans? How crazy? How lively does it get in there?
Man, it gets so live in there. Like, it's literally like watching a movie. I was watching Creed the other day, and I was telling my sister, I was like, you see how it's looking like that? That's how it looks. It's exactly how it looks when I'm out there. You see the lights, you just hear people, and it's just like the atmosphere. I mean, it's a great promotion to fight under. I mean, I think it's probably the best in Oklahoma. But there's some people who might say different, but I definitely, you know, the coaches, everyone who's there, everybody who participates in it, from the people who sponsor to the people who promote it, everything like that. They come in, they take care of everything. They check on the fighters. You know, they make sure everything's good. They have the venue going well. I mean, they're none of my family complained about it whenever they were there last time. No, it's a really good, it's a really good place to go.
If you can't be there in person, you can't buy a ticket. Is there a way to watch it online?
Yes. So if you go to martialcombatleague.com, it'll have all the upcoming events and also the old fights from last time. So it'll have all 5 events to up to this next one coming up.
Do they have commentators?
Yes, they do. I think the last one was Jimmy Flick. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Jimmy Flick. I was going to say, because I do the commentary for a couple of promotions up here in New England, and I know Jimmy Flick very well. I've interviewed him a bunch over the years. So if you know the promoter, if they're looking for someone to kind of fill in and sit next to Jimmy, you know where to find me.
Okay. Yeah, I'll definitely give them a shot and let them know.
All right, my man. Joe, I appreciate the interview. Great talking to you for the first time. I wish you best of skill come fight night. Again, August 12th, Martial Combat League. Joe Dirty Sierra takes on Jimi Miller next. Before we do sign off, I want to give you the floor. If there's anything you want to plug, any sponsors, anyone you want to thank, the floor is yours.
Yes. I want to thank my sponsors. I want to just say thank you for all your support. My bad, I gotta find them really fast. Uh okay, I want to say thank you to Tribal Beast Fitness, El Munchie Snacks, Sandy's Tacos, Jared's Window Cleaning, BKC Jiu Jitsu, Shaw Mat Jiu Jitsu, Empire Dispensary, Ruben's Mobile RV Services, Twins Mobile RV, Wash and Wax, Grand Avenue Hayes, Big Body Lobby, Herb House Dispensary, Lennox Drive-In, Red Nose MMA Academy, Galapo Lawn Services, Gyms by Grace, and Any Progress Fitness.